Late at night, while everyone else in the world is asleep, a little doll is excited for Halloween. Jessii has been working away making button eye boxes for girls and boys far and wide, so they may see into other worlds as she does. This time she's added some spooky touches to match the season. Witches, skeletons, and bats galore. But that's not all. She's captured some lonely ghost friends and placed them into jars for you to keep company. They glow in the dark to bring some light to your nights. It's her gift to you, only available on jessiivee.com for limited time. What color will your button eyes be this Halloween?
Hey guys, it's Jessii Vee, and in today's video, I'm going to be telling you some of the most disturbing, craziest forms of torture from medieval times. Now, I'm kind of nervous to do this video because I have to try and make it YouTube friendly. I'm also wondering how the heck I'm gonna show you pictures because that's just gonna be difficult. Here's the thing, this is a top requested video from you guys. This was not my idea. I find that whenever I ask you what kind of videos you want to see, medieval torture methods are always like the top one. So many people ask for it, so many people upvote it. Why? Are you guys crazy? So I'm gonna try my best here to make this the most YouTube friendliest medieval video ever. Before we get started though, I have an exciting announcement. It is that time of year, guys. Halloween mystery boxes have just launched. And so of course I have to show you what's inside. We always try to have a plushie in our boxes because they're so cute. So we have candy corns this year, and so the mystery is that you'll either get the little girl one or the boy one. But they are both adorable and they're filled with, what's it called, beans? They feel like Beanie Babies. So like they're actually really heavy. I am the most excited about what I'm gonna show you. I would literally get this box just for this item. These are the prettiest skeleton earrings I have ever seen. I'm actually gonna put them on right now. Like, are you kidding? They are so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm in love. I'm in love. So those are in the box. And we always try to put fun stuff in here as well. So this one is so cool. These are called sticky creeping spiders. And they're basically like a ton of little squishies. Like they almost feel like slime or like that squishy material. And you take a handful of the spiders, you throw them at the wall, and you watch as they crawl down the wall. It is so cool, so spooky vibes. We also have 3 different flashlight necklaces. These are great if you're going out trick-or-treating or if you're my age, take them to a party. They are so fun. And you also get a little pumpkin man with a top hat, and when you wind him up, he literally jumps across the table, and it's really cool. So if you guys would like one of the Halloween mystery boxes, I have linked them down below. By the way, if you'd like to win this month's backdrop, just be subscribed to this channel, turn on your notification bell, and then head over to my Vee Vlogs channel. I will link it down below, and comment a spider emoji on our most recent video. We just posted one where I did Halloween crafts, spooky crafts for the entire video. These are things you have never seen me make before, and they're things that are coming out very, very soon for you guys. If you want to be the first ones to see it, I have linked it down below. Okay, so let me try my best to talk about these medieval torture methods, okay? The first one is called the rack. Victims were laid flat on the wooden frame with their wrists and ankles tied to rollers at each end, and as the rollers were turned, the ropes tightened, obviously gradually stretching the victim's body, which is not good. While that's happening, obviously all of your limbs are dislocated, and this method was particularly feared by people just because of how excruciating it was, and it was pretty brutal to watch as well, because that's the thing, back then in medieval times, they would have a crowd of people watching these things happen. Then we have something called the Judas cradle. The victim was hoisted above a sharp pyramid-shaped seat with weights, sometimes added to the legs for an increased downward force. Obviously, you can imagine what happens without me saying it. They sit upon this pointed object. And while a lot of people didn't actually die from this method, they died later on from the infections that they got from it. Then we have the Iron Maiden. I remember seeing this device all the time back when I was in elementary school learning about medieval times. I feel like people just know this one. The interior was lined with spikes of varying lengths, positioned position to pierce vital organs without causing immediate death. And, you know, the door was closed with you in it, causing multiple wounds all over you. And the device apparently was also designed to muffle your screams. Then we have something called the thumb screw. This small but effective torture device used a screw to crush fingers, thumbs, or toes. So you would put your finger between the metal bars and they would tighten it until it started crushing your thumbnail or whatever was going in there. And this pain was so bad that it would cause victims to confess their crimes or tell the truth about what was actually going on. You wouldn't think so, but apparently fingernails and stuff actually really hurt when pressed on. Then we have something called the breaking wheel. Victims were tied to a large wooden wheel and the torturer used iron bars to methodically break the bones. The broken limbs were then threaded through the wheel's spokes, leaving the victim exposed to birds and elements. Awful thing about this is that sometimes it would take people days to, you know, pass away, and they would have like shock, blood loss, dehydration while they were sitting there in pain. It's awful. Then we have something called the pillory. Locked in a wooden frame, the victim was left standing or kneeling in public view with their head and hands immobilized. And then often they were pelted with like rotten food, rocks, or they were even like physically attacked by the crowds. And this was almost like a method of humiliation that would last hours and hours. Some people even were on there for days and they would just pass away because of exposure to the weather. There's something called scavenger's daughter. This metal frame forced the victim's body into a tight crouch, compressing the ribs and the organs. And this extreme pressure obviously is awful, and it would leave the victims in agony and usually cause their demise. There's something called the Catherine wheel. After being tied to the wheel, the victim's limbs were systematically broken by a heavy iron bar. Oh, you know what? This is actually just like the other wheel. I'm wondering why this one's called the Catherine wheel. Oh, I just found out why. There was a woman named Saint Catherine of Alexandria, and she was sentenced to be executed by the breaking wheel. But legend says that the wheel shattered when she touched it, leading her to her eventual beheading. And so later on they just named it the Catherine wheel. So for some reason, the moment she touched it, the whole device just like broke. And so they were like, okay, well, I guess your head's coming off then. Then we have the heretic's fork. This two-pronged metal fork was placed between the chin and chest, making it impossible for the victim to lower their head or relax their neck at all. So any like sort of movement would cause the prongs to pierce your skin. And it was often used during interrogations to prevent the victims from falling asleep, because sometimes these people would be questioned for days on end and they would obviously be so tired and exhausted, but this would not let you sleep. I remember hearing about this next one when I was in school. It's called rat torture. The torturer would place a metal container filled with rats on the victim's stomach, and a fire or hot coals were placed on top of the container, causing the rats to panic and burrow into the only available escape route, which, as you can probably imagine, is the victim's body. The rats would begin to gnaw through the stomach to try and escape the hot flames, and that is just so disgusting to me. I almost feel like this is the worst one to think about. And then we have something called the strappado. The victim's hands were tied behind their back and attached to a rope, which was then used to hoist them into the air, and this position caused immense strain on their shoulders and their arms, and in some cases weights were even added to make the whole thing even worse. And this would lead to permanent nerve and joint damage. So those are all the methods we're talking about today. I could do a part 2 because there are a lot of medieval methods, okay? It's actually insane. When I was doing research for this video, I was like, oh, that's not all? There's more? So I hope YouTube is okay with this. At the end of the day, it is for educational reasons. This is a part of our history. It's not a creepypasta, it's not a story. Like, these are real things that people went through and they are taught in schools everywhere. So YouTube, I am an educational teacher right now. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you would like one of the Halloween mystery boxes that come with these awesome earrings, I will link them down below. And don't forget to head over to our vlog channel and comment the spider emoji. But yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye!